Samantha Hayes stepped into Alexander Reed's vast Manhattan mansion just as the morning dew clung to her worn sneakers. Her eyes scanned the marble floors and glittering chandeliers with cautious determination. Before she could take another step, three identical little boys, Tommy, Max, and Leo, stood at the top of the grand staircase, hurling pillows down like missiles. "Country bumpkin!" Tommy shouted. "You'll run away like all the others!" A maid dragged Samantha's suitcase toward the door with a smirk carved deep across her face. "No one lasts more than a day here." But Samantha quietly bent to pick up a pillow, her expression calm, almost serene. Minutes later, the triplets came charging through the hall on skateboards, shrieking with the thrill of the attack. Just when they expected her to crumble like every maid before, Samantha stepped onto an abandoned skateboard, spun in a clean circle, and stopped, perfectly balanced on one foot. Silence fell like a dropped curtain. The boys stared, mouths open, shock replacing mischief. Mr. Grayson pushed his glasses up his nose, torn between disbelief and applause. The maid at the door muttered, "5 minutes. She'll quit in 5 minutes." Tommy recovered first, lifting his water gun and spraying a stream across Samantha's cheek. "Poor girl, country bumpkin," he taunted. Samantha wiped the water away slowly. "Nice aim," she said evenly. "But next time, try hitting the vase." Their laughter stalled, confusion rippling through the hall. Samantha knelt to gather scattered pillows just as Clara, the tall, sharp-featured senior maid, leaned against a column, her voice echoing through the grand hall. "Look at her, already cleaning up after those brats, probably grew up in a trailer park." Every eye shifted to Samantha, waiting for her to snap or crumble. Instead, she walked calmly up the staircase, set the pillows neatly in place, and dusted her hands. "Better than breaking things you can't fix," she said softly. Clara's painted smile cracked. The boys returned to their chaos, skateboards rattling violently until a lamp toppled and shattered. "She's going to cry and run just like the others," Max yelled. Samantha knelt beside the broken porcelain, her hands steady, her face unreadable. She said nothing, just stepped onto a spare skateboard and glided in a perfect loop around them. "New rule," she said, stopping inches from Tommy. "Whoever knocks something over, cleans it up." For the first time, the triplets obeyed. Later, in the playroom, where toys littered the floor like debris after a storm, another maid, Ellen, leaned into the doorway laughing cruelly. "Look at the new nanny already on her knees. Bet she's praying these kids don't eat her alive." Tommy echoed her mockery, hoping for approval. Samantha didn't flinch. She held out a single block to him. "Build something worth keeping," she said gently. Tommy stared, unsure how to respond. Lunch was worse. The elegant dining room became a battlefield. Spaghetti flew, juice splashed across velvet chairs, and ketchup smeared across Samantha's sweater. Maids whispered behind doors, predicting her defeat. Mr. Grayson shook his head. But Samantha clapped her hands once, sharp, commanding. The boys froze. "You're the chefs today." She tossed aprons toward them. "Best dish eats first." Something shifted. The boys cooked. They laughed. They tried. When Alexander Reed walked in, ready to face his usual disaster, he stopped short. His sons sat quietly, eating like civilized humans. For a moment, the cold businessman softened. Then Paul, the groundskeeper, sneered from the doorway. "The nanny thinks she's a chef, probably never seen a kitchen fancier than a diner." Samantha didn't look at him. She cleaned Leo's chin with a napkin. "Good workers know when to stay in their lane." Paul backed out, silenced. The tricks continued. One afternoon, the boys locked her outside and turned on the sprinklers, filming her soaked and shivering. Maids whispered, "This is the final blow." But Samantha just removed her wet shoes and pretended to pick something from the grass. "Oh, look," she said through the glass, "your mom's treasure." The laughter stopped instantly. Their mother had been gone 3 years. They ran outside barefoot, rain soaking their pajamas. Samantha revealed what she held: candy and stickers. "3 treasures," she said. "Help me clean the garden, and they're yours." They worked until they were muddy and smiling. That night, after Samantha tucked them in, Clara hissed, "You're just a placeholder until Mr. Reed finds someone with class." Samantha whispered back, "Class isn't what you wear. It's what you do when no one's watching." At 2 a.m., Leo woke, burning with fever. While staff panicked, Samantha acted: cool cloths, electrolyte water, calm instructions to the doctor. When Leo clung to her and whispered, "Mommy Sam," Alexander froze at the doorway, helpless and changed. The next morning, whispers slithered through the kitchen. "Mr. Reed will never trust a single mom." Samantha kept cooking. The boys rushed in, shouting, "Mommy Sam!" They wrapped around her like she belonged. Alexander poured her coffee himself. He said, "Thank you for doing what no one else could." Weeks later, the mansion transformed. Please, thank you, quiet meals, teamwork. Miracles no one believed possible. Rumors kept spreading, but Samantha ignored them, choosing the boys every time. One afternoon in the garden, as the sun painted everything gold, Tommy tugged his father's sleeve. "Daddy, can Mommy Sam stay forever?" Alexander looked at Samantha standing in worn jeans, hair loose in the wind. He pulled a small velvet box out of his pocket, his voice steady. "Samantha, will you?" Her breath caught. She nodded. The boy screamed of joy. The next day, Ellen shoved a tabloid headline into Samantha's hands. "Billionaire marries charity case." Samantha folded it neatly. "They can write what they want. They don't get to rewrite who I am." She led the boys outside, toward sunlight, toward something better. And as the town erupted with gossip, those who once laughed found themselves silenced. Jobs vanished, lies exposed. Their cruelty came back to them like an echo. No one needed revenge. Samantha had already won.